Well, if you follow my Instagram, AlexGNYC1, by the way, Alex Garrett here, you know that it's been a tough day processing the loss of Vin Scully, the voice of the Dodgers, who passed away yesterday at the age of 94, and the news was found out during the Dodger-Giant game, kind of fitting because of that rivalry, and Vin's voice through that rivalry, right? But this one hits home. It hits New York City as much as it does hit Los Angeles because Vin Scully was born in the Bronx, went to Fordham University, became the Brooklyn Dodgers announcer in 1950, held that position from 1950 to 2016, 67 years or so at the helm of the Dodgers microphone. And I'll give you my thoughts on it in a minute, but I wanted you to play the MLB TikTok team's compilation and really audio book, if you will, in three and a half minutes or so that they put together for Vin in Vin Scully's voice.
Many years ago, a little red-headed boy was walking home from school, passing a Chinese laundry, and stopped to see the score of a World Series game posted in the window. The Yankees beat the Giants 18-4 on October the 2nd, 1936. Well, the boy's reaction was pity for the Giants, and he became a rabid Giants fan from that day forward, until the joyous moment when he was hired to broadcast Brooklyn Dodger games in 1950. Ironically, October the 2nd, 2016, will mark my final broadcast of a Giants-Dodger game, and it will be exactly 80 years to the day since that little boy fell in love with baseball. God has been very generous to that little boy, allowing him to fulfill a dream of becoming a broadcaster and to live it for 67 years. Since 1958, you and I have really grown up together through the good times and the bad. The transistor radio is what bound us together. By the way, were you at the Coliseum when we sang Happy Birthday to an umpire? Were you among the crowd that groaned at one of my puns? Or did you kindly laugh at one of my little jokes? Did I put you to sleep with the transistor radio tucked under your pillow? You know, you were simply always there for me. I've always felt that I needed you more than you needed me, and that holds true to this very day. I've been privileged to share in your passion and love for this great game. My family means everything to me, and I'll now be able to share life's experiences with them. My wife Sandy, our children Kevin, Todd, Aaron, Kelly, and Catherine, along with our entire family, will join me in sharing God's blessings of that precious gift of time. You folks have truly been the wind beneath my wings, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me on this incredible journey of 67 years of broadcasting Dodger baseball. You know, friends, so many people have wished me congratulations on a 67-year career in baseball, and they've wished me a wonderful retirement with my family. And now, all I can do is tell you what I wish for you. May God give you for every storm a rainbow, for every tear a smile, for every care a promise, and a blessing in each trial. For every problem life seems a faithful friend to share, for every sigh a sweet song, and an answer for each prayer. You and I have been friends for a long time, but I know in my heart that I've always needed you more than you've ever needed me. And I'll miss our time together more than I can say. But you know what? There will be a new day and eventually a new year. And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball. So this is Vin Scully wishing you a very pleasant good afternoon wherever you may be.
And that is the voice of Vin Scully. Met fans were always accustomed to hearing him do the Game 6 winning, gets by Buckner, gets through Buckner behind the bag, gets through Buckner, Knight scores and the Mets win it. That was Vin Scully's call. Kirk Gibson, he did that call too. The impossible has happened, or the improbable has happened. Nonetheless, beyond all the calls is a story about New York City resilience. This kid, as he said, a little redhead from the Bronx, became the voice of the Dodgers, coast to coast, which means any of us in the sports media world, in the media world, can go coast to coast as well if we work our asses off for it, as Vin Scully did, the proud Fordham University graduate. I feel for Michael K. I know Michael's probably going through it right now because he's also a fellow Fordham University grad. And personally, I feel it because one of my mentors is probably up there calling the game with him right now. See, in that generation, you had Bob Wolf, Mel Allen, and Vin Scully. I would bet you $1,000 they're calling the 1927 Murderers Row. They're calling the 40s, 50s players right now, the classics, because they were classic. And because my dad got me involved with all the broadcasting world, of course I feel very personal about this today. Because I know that this is my dad's generation going before our eyes. And I just want to say I want my dad to stay around as long as possible. I cried a whole hour today about this. Because this goes way beyond any call. Vince Scully, this is a heritage. This is a familial. This is a inner circle type of feeling. That those we love are going beyond our very eyes. And we need to slow time down. Because yesterday, also, most importantly for New Yorkers, will always be the honoring of the tragic plane crash that killed Thurman Munson. And this overwhelming moment happened on my Instagram as well to repost my interview with Diana Munson at the Thurman Munson Foundation dinner just a week or two before COVID and a week after the helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant. I got a chance to catch up with Thurman Munson's widow, Diana Munson. Hold on in just a minute. Let me pull it up here for you. Here is Diana Munson. What's this dinner like to you every year?
Well, first of all, I'm so proud of this dinner. It's lasted for these 40 years. They've raised over $16 million. With tonight, it's very close to $17 million. And the fact that it continues and we can remember Thurman and we do wonderful works for AHRC just means the world.
And Ray Negron has connected me to your story through Bat Boy. First of all, what was the impact that Mr. Steinbrenner has had on your lives?
Oh, Mr. Steinbrenner is responsible for everything good in our lives. He was the man. And he loves his Yankees. He loves his former Yankees. He has passed that on to his children, and the Yankee organization is number one.
And they bring you back every year, which has to be they choke up a little bit, I guess.
It's hard. It's been hard, but they don't ever forget. And I'm always part of the Yankee family, which means so much to me. So.
And Ray's continued the legacy of Thurman and George. And you guys have grown close through that as well.
Well, Ray is a special young man in our lives. He was with Thurman through the good times and the bad times, and he means a lot to us.
And as you see this dinner grow, that's got to really melt your heart every year.
It does. They told me it would only last for 2 or 3 years, and it's going strong at 40, so.
And how can people get involved if they haven't yet?
Well, the AHRC Foundation, New York City, if you just contact them, they will give you a lot of pointers on how to be involved and how to help the organization.
And that's great you're partnering with them as well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And so, in 2 minutes there, a lot of conversation with Diana Munson and a lot covered there. And then the other thing that's been on my mind, which I haven't gotten to podcasts about, is the study that I found through Stat News. You've got to follow Stat News. You've got to. Stat News is a health place with different health stories. And do you know, according to studies, 1 in 4 Americans live with 2 chronic illnesses, at least 2? When will we be healthier, America? When will we be healthier? I want to know. Our legends are passing before our eyes as they get older because they took care of themselves. They ate healthier. They were active. They were always on the go. I mean, literally. They were winning basketball championships if you're Bill Russell. They were being incredible in the booth if you were Vin Scully. They just were. Gary Player, who continues to golf at age 86, he also has been very active. And he said to the New York Times, hey, people are eating themselves to the grave. There's got to be a trend reversal. It is unacceptable that Americans, 1 in 4 of them, have at least 2 chronic conditions. Unacceptable. And we got to fight better. I'll post that story. Thanks again to MLB for bringing Vin Scully's voice to life. And if you have parents who were of that generation that are still around, love them, hug them, be as around them as you can, because as we're seeing, a cornerstone of that generation, Vin Scully, has left us, which means time is fleeting beyond the 1.59 milliseconds faster rotation of the Earth. I'm Alex Garrett. Be safe. Please be safe. And we'll get through it. Have a great night.